5 on Your Side at 10 starts now.
Another weekend of giving back to those in need.
We can bring them together, even just by a turkey. That's what we're trying to do.
The area events supporting local families this holiday season.
The fall chill is making a return. The roller coaster temperatures continue. Plus, I'll time out some rain chances.
Tonight's top story, a domestic dispute explodes into gunfire in Belleville. 2 people shot and an apartment complex turned into a crime scene.
And I was like, well, that's pretty serious if there's 3 ambulances.
We're now hearing from neighbors stunned by what unfolded in their typically quiet community. Thank you for joining us at 10 on air and streaming on 5+. I'm Robert Townsend. Tonight we're following breaking updates out of Belleville. Deputies say a domestic violence dispute exploded into a home invasion and shooting. 2 people were shot, including a woman's ex-boyfriend, who's now the suspect. 5 Your Side's Megan Kernan is in Belleville tonight with what investigators just confirmed.
I was going to leave here just to drive and go for a walk in the park, and then when I looked outside, I saw like 3 police cars.
Eric Moyer was in his mom's backyard on Woodcliff Drive in Belleville just before noon Saturday when a quiet morning turned into a major crime scene. The St. Clair County Sheriff's Department says 2 people were shot inside this apartment after a domestic violence situation escalated into a home invasion.
It's sad no matter what that, 2 people were shot, but even more shocking that all of that just happened just around us on a nice and sunny mid-November day.
Deputies say it all started when the woman's ex-boyfriend showed up here and kicked in the front door. Inside, another man grabbed a gun and opened fire, hitting both the ex-boyfriend and the woman. She's already out of the hospital, but investigators tell me the suspected home intruder is still in critical condition.
I was telling Mom it's always sad when things like this happen, and they don't have to, and they do.
Moyer didn't hear the gunfire, but he saw the police response unfold within minutes and neighbors standing outside in disbelief.
Anytime something like this happens, it's always shocking.
Moyer says the sight was unsettling, especially with MG Junior High within walking distance.
The scope of something like this can really affect a lot of things.
And his mom told me the shooting spooked her so much, and with crime rising, she's now putting her home of 20 years up for sale.
It makes it all the more terrifying. But things now have settled down, and it's just up to us to go back to regular life. It could happen anywhere, really.
Reporting in Belleville, Megan Kernan, 5 on Your Side.
Megan, thanks for that. The Sheriff's Department says it expects more updates after detectives interview witnesses and review evidence. Now, investigators are also reminding anyone experiencing domestic violence to call the Violence Prevention Center of Southwestern Illinois on their 24-hour hotline. That number is 618-235-0892. Tonight, St. Louis police are sharing new information about a deadly early morning shooting. They tell us someone called police to report an assault on North 10th Street and Cass Avenue. Now, while on the phone, a 911 dispatcher heard gunshots being fired. Officers went there and found a man shot to death. The shooting tonight remains under investigation. And right now, St. Louis County Police are investigating a shooting that left a man dead in North County. They say around 2 this morning, officers responded to a shot spotter notification on Bell Fountain Road. Police found a man dead with at least 1 gunshot wound. Police have not told us anything about what led to this shooting. Anyone with any information is asked to call St. Louis County Police or leave a tip to Crime Stoppers at 866-371-TIPS. Tonight, we're following tragic news out of Vandalia, Illinois. A teenager reported missing has now been found dead. The family of 14-year-old Kylie Toberman confirms to 5 on Your Side that she was found dead behind her home yesterday afternoon. Now, it came hours after the girl was reported missing to police. Police say they have arrested a man. Tonight, he remains in custody. Illinois State Police are now investigating this, and they're asking anyone with information to give them a call. Well, after a spectacular near-record day, we are now cooling down a bit. Here's Jim Castillo with a first look at our weather impact forecast. Hey, Jim.
Yeah, hi, Robert. So 79 again today. So almost got to that record 81. So an identical day to yesterday, except we started out at 61 this morning. Now tomorrow morning will be closer to 40 degrees as this cooler, drier air moves in behind this cold front that's been moving through the entire area throughout the day. A few clouds out there, but it's mostly clear. And we're still pretty mild. We're right about 60 in most areas. There's a 57 at Pittsfield and 54 in Litchfield at this point. And over the next 12 hours here, we're going to dip down into the low 40s. Likely our morning low about 43 in St. Louis, but plenty of sunshine in the afternoon after that really chilly start compared to this morning, that's for sure. So 39 for Jerseyville for tomorrow morning, 44 in Crystal City, and the Futurecast is showing a chance of rain, that first chance by Monday evening. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
5 on Your Side's Thanksgiving Food Drive, sponsored by Thrivent Financial.
This holiday season, KSDK is teaming up with Thrivent and Operation Food Search to fight hunger this Thanksgiving. To help us, all you have to do is scan the QR code on your screen and donate on the website. The drive runs until Sunday, November 23rd. Every dollar donated provides $6 in food and nutrition services for area families in need. Together, we can make sure every family in the bi-state area is able to sit down to a Thanksgiving meal. Today, a turkey giveaway, you might say, almost gobbled up the parking lot at the shopping center in St. Louis. The nonprofit Fun Without Guns organized this event. The organization says it has been helping victims of gun violence for the past 10 years. Today, they continue their mission by giving back to those in need.
I have a firm belief that if families are together in happiness, then you have people that appreciate life. And just like they love their loved ones, when we have homicides, you're taking someone's loved one. So if we can bring them together, even just by a turkey, that's what we're trying to do.
Organizers say they passed out at least 150 turkeys at today's giveaway. And this morning, the JB Patriot Pantry in South St. Louis County handed out Thanksgiving meals to military members and their families. Drivers started lining up all around the building around 6 this morning. Everyone was given food boxes with breakfast, lunch, and dinner items, plus lots of snacks. Organizers also gave away nearly 300 turkeys. Tomorrow marks 6 months since a tornado devastated our area. Today, the St. Louis Urban League held another drive-through food distribution to help tornado survivors. Now, cars could be seen for miles lining up outside the Urban League headquarters in North St. Louis. Organizers say they passed out 3,000 food boxes. An Urban League spokesperson tells us this was their largest distribution event to date. This week, our political editor, Mark Maxwell, sat down with St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer. Now, they talked about the long road ahead for the city's tornado recovery, including how much money is still needed for repairs.
So I'm looking at over $450 million that we have allocated to the response so far. And again, you pointed out, we're maybe looking at $2 billion of damage. So we know this isn't enough, but this is a good starting point.
You can watch our full interview in this week's episode of The Record with Mark Maxwell. It's streaming, of course, on 5+. You can download it by searching KSDK on your device. Weeks after being ordered to Chicago, Texas National Guard troops still aren't on the job. Now their time may be up. Plus, a life-changing day for dozens of foster kids.
All kids, no matter what, they need love.
We'll take you to the ceremony celebrating National Adoption Month in our area with new forever families.
Autumn air is moving back in, still very sunny and cooler for the next couple of days. And I'm tracking out when the rain returns.
We have an update on some breaking news we first told you about at 5. Tonight, 4 law enforcement officers are recovering after being shot at a home in rural Kansas. Investigators say the officers were shot while responding to a domestic violence incident. Now, it happened around 10:30 this morning in Carbondale, Kansas. Officials say another man was also struck. Authorities say a male suspect died from gunshot wounds at that scene.
Multiple law enforcement agencies responded immediately when the call went out. We want to thank all of those departments for their assistance this morning, and as this investigation continues.
We will, of course, continue following this story for any new developments. Tonight, we're learning members of the Texas National Guard are expected to leave Chicago and return back home. Now, that's according to new reporting from CNN. The troops have been in the city for about a month. The Trump administration ordered the troops to help with immigration enforcement. However, a federal judge stopped the deployment, forcing the troops to stay at a training base outside the city for weeks. An emotional journey for one little boy adopted into a family of 12. Why his new family says fostering is their calling. November is National Adoption Month, and National Adoption Day is next Saturday. Hundreds of thousands of children all across the country are in foster care, waiting for their forever homes. But some of them found theirs this morning. 5 on your side's Reagan DeTrolio talked with one family in Clayton who welcomed a new member to their family.
2-year-old Nico Thomas was officially adopted Saturday.
He's one of 10.
From the ages of 2 to 24 years old, Nico's new siblings stood beside him as he officially became part of their family.
Amazing, just to be able to say he's finally ours.
Nico's mom, Mary Thomas, has fostered him since he was a baby, holding on to life in the hospital.
He's died on us twice, just with RSV and not being healthy.
Mary and her husband, Paul, are huge advocates for fostering and adopting.
It's just not fair, and they need a good home and people to love them.
Fostering, adopting, it gives them another chance at life.
Nico isn't the only child getting adopted here Saturday. 32 other kids from across St. Louis County are also finding their permanent home. For the Thomases, they say little Nico makes their family complete.
He's just a wonderful little boy. You know, we're lucky to have him in our lives.
National Adoption Day recognizes more than 90,000 children moving from foster care to a permanent family. And that's exactly what Nico got, a place to call home.
Adoption has been a blessing, you know, getting him just from the hospital and bringing him home, and then, you know, it's been a lot of fun just seeing him grow.
All kids, no matter what, they need love.
Reporting in Clayton, Reagan DeTrolio, 5 on your side.
It's an important story. Reagan, thanks. If you'd like to learn how you can start fostering a child or hear more about adoption services in the St. Louis area, visit the Foster and Adoptive Care Coalition website. You can find a link to that on KSDK.com. Well, it was a sunny and near record day today. Great weather. Meteorologist Jim Castile joining us now with the weather impact forecast. Can you keep it up, bud?
I wish, but we have this going on, all the holiday stuff. You know, this is the Garden Glow, and we were just talking about how it's less than 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving.
Can't believe it.
And it was 79 degrees. Yeah. So we're going to cool off, though. There was a front that moved through here, and we're mainly clear. It's still a really nice evening out there. In the 60s in some areas, from Chesterfield at 60, Sparta 62, but Litchfield's down to 54, and Rolla now at 58. And the wind is beginning to relax. It was gusty, still seeing a wind gust to 23 at St. Charles, but it does become light as we get into tonight. And look at that, we still have a 70-degree day, not tomorrow or Monday, but looks like Tuesday as a warm front pushes through the area. So St. Louis south and westward about 70, likely north and eastward staying in the 60s, but those rain chances really ramp up by Thursday. A little bit more on that coming up. We do have another chance as we get into Monday night, but tonight the front's pushing through here dry, and it is mainly clear. It is cooler, and we're down in the lower 40s instead of that 60-degree reading that we had this morning. So tomorrow, a north wind at 5 to 10. We are jumping only into the 50s, but 56 is the average and going for 58. So high pressure over southeastern Iowa here. As it slides onto the south and east, it spins clockwise, and you get more of a southerly push of air. So Kansas City will be 60 while we're 58. And then Monday, clouds definitely on the increase. It has to overcome, any moisture has to overcome very dry air that'll be here on Sunday and most of Monday. And once that happens, you get enough lift in here, showers and maybe some rumbles of thunder. It's more evening hours and during the overnight that we expect that to happen. And it could be right along the Mississippi eastward. And then through Tuesday morning, a chance of a shower in here. Then by Tuesday, that warm front slides to the north. Maybe not all of our area, but wherever it goes through, likely some 70s in here for the forecast. And then by Wednesday, it cools back down again late in the day Wednesday and into Thursday. Rain once again becomes likely. So this is a little pattern shift that we haven't seen in a while. 58 for tomorrow, plenty of sunshine. Monday, 60. Showers, maybe some rumbles of thunder late by evening and into the night. And then by Tuesday, about 70. As we get into Wednesday, it is late in the day again with that rain chance increases, and it's more likely as we get into Thursday. And some of that rain, especially south on Thursday, could come down at a pretty good clip. So we'll watch to see who gets the heaviest rain at that point. Still some showers around Friday, and then we clear up by Saturday of next week.
Riding a roller coaster of sorts?
Yeah, another 70-degree day on Tuesday.
Thanks, Jim. I appreciate it. Corey joins us now with what's next in sports.
Well, Robert, it was a very busy day on the St. Louis sports scene, from a senior night shootout for Mizzou to another blue night at Enterprise Center and Illinois high school playoff action as well. We've got it all covered next in sports. Even though the playoff dream is dead for Mizzou football, the season is most certainly not dead. Win out and then win a bowl game, and that's another 10-win year. Mississippi State was the opponent under the lights in Columbia tonight. No big Rock M in Columbia because of construction, so Mizzou got creative for senior night with a mini Rock M on the sideline. Hey, whatever works. Matt Zoller's second career start, he was slinging it early. Look at that pass to fellow freshman Donovan Alubade. 7-0 Mizzou. That is a connection Tiger fans hope to enjoy for years to come. Later, Zollers again, this time to Joshua Manning, who navigates his way through the Bulldog defense and in for another Mizzou touchdown. Still in the first half, and find me somebody that loves something more than Ahmad Hardy loves yards after contact. You just cannot tackle the man. 21-10 Tigers. Hardy was not done, not by a long shot. He just straight up outruns everybody on the Mississippi State defense on his way to a 72-yard touchdown. He had another TD later in the game and has 268 yards tonight to add to his SEC leading total. Hey, for good measure, Toriano Pride, the pride of East St. Louis, got himself a pick 6 on senior night. And then Marvin Burks, the pride of Cardinal Ritter, got one as well. Mizzou has a 49-27 lead in the fourth quarter. One of the best things about baseball is if you have a bad game, you almost always get a new chance the very next day. That's a rare occurrence in hockey, but with a loss like the Blues had last night, a chance to immediately get back on track against Vegas tonight should have been a good thing. Cool game at Enterprise Center before the Blues and Golden Knights arrived. Pucks for Autism got to compete on the ice this afternoon. As for tonight, it didn't go well. Blues turnover in their own zone, and old friend Brandon Saad lights the lamp. 1-0 Vegas. Still in the first, it's a Golden Knight with his first goal in the NHL. Braden Bowman beats Joel Hofer. 2-0 Vegas. It just got uglier from there. Philip Broberg did get one late, but the Blues fall to the Golden Knights 4-1. SLU Hoops hosting Bryce Drew in Grand Canyon. You'll remember they lost a heartbreaker to the Lopes last year. No drama this year. Amari McCautry was on fire all game long, picks a pocket, finishes on the other end to finish the half. Get a team high 20 points. Bills can score it, no doubt about it. Pick and roll to perfection results in a Paul Otieno jam. We're in the driver's seat all game long. Robbie Avila had 14 points, including 4 threes as SLU beats Grand Canyon 78-64. OVC Men's Soccer Championship in St. Charles. The host Lions of Lindenwood going for the title against Houston Christian. Scoreless first half, but here comes Lindenwood. Luca Bartoni buries the shot from point-blank range. Lions lead 1-0. Houston Christian tied it with almost no time left in regulation, so we had to play overtime, and I was just told in my ear that Lindenwood just won the OVC Championship in penalty kicks. Congrats to the Lions. Illinois football hosted Maryland in Champaign today as Luke Altmaier keeps climbing up the Illini all-time QB ranks, and he was spinning it today. He finds Hudson Clement for a first-half touchdown, and then that worked so well, he's going to find him for a second-half touchdown as well. Illinois takes it to Maryland 24-6 as Altmaier gets closer and closer to the all-time passing touchdown record in Champaign.
Yeah, I'm aware of it. It's coming to an end, and I'm being intentional about my relationships and every single snap I get on that field and looking around sometimes and appreciating the fans, appreciating my teammates, and throwing my body around. That's what I'll miss most.
High school football playoffs quarterfinals in Illinois. East St. Louis hosting Chicago Simeon. And the Flyers are elite at every position. Ahmad Coleman through the line for the touchdown. Flyers up 13-0. Now the defense. Jabari Lofton picking off this pass. He runs it all the way back to the 1-yard line. Flyers would pound it in for 6 more. This game got out of hand early. Reese Shanklin gonna air this one out, and Jamori Ware is gonna be there to haul it in for another Flyer touchdown. East St. Louis rolls to the state semifinals with a 49-0 win over Simeon. Down the road from East St. Louis to Cahokia, the Comanches hosting Bree Central in an all-area Class 4 quarterfinal. Cahokia strikes first. Nigel Gooden to Hartles Holman across the middle, and he finds his way into the end zone. 6-0 Comanches. Central is a powerhouse this year, and they showed why today. Owen Kerr finds Bryce Weeder. Big gain down the sideline. Later on, Conlon Har would pound his way in to finish that drive for a touchdown. Bree Central wins 35-12 to advance to the semifinals for the first time in program history. Congrats to the Cougars. And that'll do it for sports, Robert.
All right, Corey, thanks. Jim, how about a final look at our weather?
All right, so it's a beautiful night tonight. We're cooling off. The front has moved through here dry. We're down in the upper 30s and low 40s tomorrow morning, and most areas low 40s. And then tomorrow's high, much cooler than today's 79. We're at 58 tomorrow and plenty of sunshine.
All righty, thank you, and thank you for joining us for 5 Your Side at 10. Saturday Night Live is coming your way next. Start your day bright and early with Today in St. Louis, beginning at 6 a.m. Have a fantastic tomorrow.